All right, so for 8,4, which is 0 and negative exponents, okay? So when we have 0 exponents, what that really means is 0 as an exponent. For any non-zero number, anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, so that would mean simply that if we have 8 to the 0 power, that is going to be 1. Right? If we have negative 1/3 to the 0 power, that is also going to be 1. And if we have x times y to the 0 power, that's also going to be 1. Right? The only time that we get anything to the 0 power, right, would if we had 0 to the 0 power. That's actually what we would call undefined. Right? So we can't do 0 to the 0 power. That basically doesn't work. Okay? Now, moving down, when we actually have negative exponents. So what happens with negative exponents, for any integer and any non-zero number, anything to a negative power is the reciprocal of that base. So when you're doing this, basically remember that the reciprocal is what we did with fractions. We do keep, change, flip. Right? So the reciprocal is basically you take a fraction and you flip it. The numerator becomes the denominator becomes the numerator. So 2 to the negative third, if I would rewrite that with a positive exponent, then it would become 1 over 2 to the third, because I'm taking it and I'm flipping it. And if I wanted to fully simplify it, I would get an answer of 1 over 8. Right? 4 to the third power over 4 to the fifth power. Well, if I do my rule with division, then I would do 4 to the 3 minus 5, right? So we get an answer of 4 to the negative second power. So then I would flip that, and I would get 1 over 4 squared, or 1 over 16. So if I'm using just a variable, so x to the 9th and x to the 15th, so I would do x to the 9 minus 15, which is going to be x to the negative 6th power, which then is going to equal 1 over x to the 6th power. All right, now if I simplify the expression, right, so we're putting into practice these rules. So let's go ahead and change to red. So negative 6x to the 0 power, anything to the 0 power is 1. That's the first example, right? Second example, now this is negative 2 times x to the 0 power. So that really means this is negative 2 times 1, because x to the 0 power only applies, the 0 only applies to the x in this case. So therefore we get an answer of negative 2. All right, example 3. When we're talking about this, we are dealing with our quotient, and then we're also dealing with the negative exponents. So negative 21 divided by 7 is going to be negative 3. And then I have y to the 8th minus y to the negative 3rd. So this would be y to the 8th minus negative 3. So even though we're subtracting, we still have to think about that as a negative 3. So I get negative 3y to the 11th. And then finally, example 4. Dealing with example 4. M to the 4th times m to the negative 7th over 8. So I'm running out of room here. I'm going to move it down here, guys. Sorry. So m to the 4th times m to the negative 7th. That means I'm going to do m to the 4 plus negative 7 over 8. So that means m to the negative 3rd over 8. Now, because I have negative 3, I need to do the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to do this as 1 over 8m cubed. Hope it helps.